Hi everybody, it's Linda. I am back with a flip through of 2 March journals. I know it's not March, it's actually the very early beginning of February, but I wanted to get these done because I am about to start a really big journal project that I am ridiculously excited about. So anyway, I love to make St. Patrick's Day or Irish themed journals. This is the 3rd year that I've made these. I made 2 little cutie styles. They are indeed adorable, if I don't say so myself. I am going to flip through each one of them. If you're seeing this, they are currently listed in my Etsy shop, Joyful Makes and Finds. And I do have to tell you, typically these do not last long. Not a whole lot of creators make St. Patrick's Day journals, so they're a little harder to come by. And so anyway, just a FYI, if you see this and you're interested, you might want to head over to the shop to see if they're available. So they are nearly identical. The covers, one has a little girl, one has a little boy. The girl is journal number 1. We're going to go through both of them. It is my typical little cutie style fashioned from a paper bag. And this is one of the only times, and I did this, I think, last year for my green journals, that I did not cover the entire paper bag with fabric because I just love this gingham green and white paper bag. So what I did was I lined the entire inside of the paper bag with Tyvek. So it is very strong, even though the outside is paper. So it's got this adorable trim. It's got this image here that I added to some corrugated cardboard, kind of tipped it in gold, put some vintage buttons on there, some vintage lace on the spine, some dangles to the bottom of the signature, and some hand-dyed green seam binding ties. So let's get in and take a look. Each one has at least 30 pages, if not a few more. And in this front pocket here is this cute little library card. I need to make sure that I'm centered. I apologize if I'm not. Cute little library card. Little fabric pocket here. I made these little shamrocks out of pipe cleaners, so I couldn't resist adding one to the front pocket here with this little bulb pin and a charm that says made with love. Some scrapbook paper here. That is a pocket, also a side pocket in this adorable image. I think this is from the Graphics Fairy. Is a journal card. This is some paper that I embossed with shamrocks. A doily that I created a pocket. It's sewn into the signature. And inside I made a tag with a pocket. These are vintage S&H green stamps. And inside I tucked a vintage image, some tickets, a faux postage stamp, and an actual vintage Raleigh coupon that came in a pack of cigarettes back in the day. Okay, and then you can journal on the back. And this, I'm going to pull this guy out so you can see his cute little face. Some vintage rickrack across the top. And then this just tucks right into this pocket. This, each of the journals has about 4 pages of a vintage Ireland travel brochure. So this is a map of Ireland. And just some beautiful scenery. This is some Celtic writing. Coffee dyed paper, scrapbook paper. This is a glassine bag that I decoupaged with a vintage St. Patrick's Day napkin. And then I just put a very simple tag with some vintage trim, and I just absolutely love this plaid in this paper. and I just tuck that in there. This is a vintage green graph paper. This is a digital that I will credit in the description box. This is a felt shamrock that I created this little tuck spot. And this is a digital. It says Grandma's Button Box. And I did attach 5 vintage buttons, shell, mother of pearl shell buttons on, sewed them on, and then put some writing paper on the back so that it's still a nice surface for writing if you wanted to do that. This is the Ireland brochure. Coffee dyed loose leaf. Another ledger. This is a fabric flip. It has this plaid, and it also has this little fun upholstery fabric and a bit of bling. This is from a digital. The center page is a copy of an Irish folk song called St. Patrick's Day. I used some waxed green thread to sew in the signatures, and I added crystals and a shamrock charm to the bottom of the signatures. This is a belly band with some bling and some fabric and some a brown paper sewn ruffle. And this adorable image from a vintage St. Patrick's Day greeting card. For this journal card there. Lots of journaling space, room for your own additions. This is the Ireland brochure. This is a multi-pocket. It actually has 4 or 5 different pockets. In the very back, actually, let's go from the front. I added this cute little St. Patrick's Day coin. This is a vintage leprechaun cupcake topper that I couldn't resist putting in there. A vintage playing card with a shamrock. Some vintage S&H green stamps. A vintage recipe card. And a Ray Dunn to-do list. So you can see now the multi-pockets. So this one goes in the back. Of course, you can do this however you want. Oh, let's do it this way. Oh, did that backwards, didn't I? We won't take, when I flip through on the other one, we won't take this apart. And this guy just stands in there, and we'll just tuck that little coin in there. And these things add bulk, so you can pull them out and just use them in your decor. But I just wanted to add them because I thought they were sweet vintage touches. Okay, and then here is a little St. Patrick's Day tuck, and I created this adorable little journal card from a coffee dyed index card and an image from a vintage greeting card, and I made that made a little notch, a little tab on the side, and some vintage ledger. The back sides, all of those. Here is the last page. It's got the map of Ireland from the travel brochure and another little vintage tag in a vintage style that I created to go in this doily pocket. This is that embossed paper and these cute kids in this journal card here. And in the very last, there is an envelope from my heart to yours that includes a letter from me inside and some Irish breakfast tea as a little thank you from me to you. Of course, the back is the opening of the paper bag. You can see the Tyvek that lines the entire paper bag. This edge is reinforced with fabric, so it's nice and sturdy. And this is the back of the journal. And of course, as do all of my journals, it will come with a baggie filled with offcuts and little pieces of fabric and buttons and a little bit of that vintage napkin and things like that so that you can use it when you complete your journal. So this is journal number 1. Journal number 2, we'll just flip through more quickly. It has a little boy on the cover, but otherwise constructed exactly the same. Okay, different little girl on this little library card here. Also a shamrock that I made from pipe cleaners. Journal card, embossed paper. This is the tag with the pocket and the little vintage photographs. The Raleigh coupon for this journal goes in the doily pocket there. You can see, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I always scoot around with these little journals. I apologize. This glassine bag has an embossed tag. And this is a different tag than is in the other journal number 1. So in this, whoever purchases this journal, I did make a tag from that other paper, and it will be included in here. So you can put whichever tag you prefer in there, in this glassine bag pocket. And that's a decoupaged napkin. Same little button card with actual vintage mother of pearl buttons. Lots of journaling space. Here is the fabric flip. The center has exactly the same crystals and beads and charm. This is the same as well. Journaling card and belly band. This is the same multi-way pocket with all of the same elements, the Ray Dunn list, the recipe card, the S&H green stamps, the vintage playing card, the little St. Patrick's Day coin, and the vintage leprechaun. And this is a Celtic paper and some green burlap, which is a digital. Okay. This one has a different image, but still an adorable little leprechaun on this index card, journal card. And this is the handmade tag for this pocket here. Embossed paper, this is the same as well. Large journal card, letter from me. Oops, this one doesn't have the tea bag, but it will. Oh, here it is. Irish breakfast tea. And the opening for putting items in. It is also lined in Tyvek. And this is journal number 2. This is journal number 1. They are both in my Etsy shop, Joyful Makes and Finds. So I am hard at work on a really fun, kind of once in a lifetime kind of journal adventure. And if I've piqued your curiosity, hang on a couple of days. I'm going to try to get a short out there with a sneak peek of what I am working on. I'm so excited. I'm making 3 journals. I'm actually this time making one for myself, which I typically do not do, but that's how excited I am. And one for my sister and one for my shop. So I will be announcing that soon. I've got so much to share with you. Lots of fun journal ideas coming up. I've also got a lot of new vintage items going into my Etsy shop and journaling supplies as well. So come visit me there at Joyful Makes and Finds on Etsy, and I will see you soon back here, okay? Links to these journals are in the description box below. You can follow those links to go directly to the Etsy listing, okay? See you soon. Bye-bye.